Welcome here, you guys. My name is Oshina. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video because this video is for the teens. It's for the parents of teens. It's for the younger readers, and I'm really hoping that this video can just be such an encouragement and kind of like a big hug to you guys. So I'm going to share some book recommendations that I think are appropriate for teenagers. I'm going to share some books that I would caution about and just letting you know about the content. And then I also just want to share my heart to you guys, also ask you some questions. So that's what this video is going to be. I'll put it all in the description. If you want to click around, I'll have timestamps. If you're a teenager and you watch me, I'm so glad that you're here. And I know a lot of my videos are geared towards maybe adult women or just women that are older, girls, people that are older. I do recommend a lot of adult fiction, but I do love to read YA. It's still in there. I still like to read it. I can still be entertained. And because of that, I really do care about my younger audience. I care about those teenagers that are watching. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome. If you want to say hi in the comments, say hi. Let me know how old you are and how long you've been watching me for. I'm going to get straight to the book recommendations. I'm going to be as clear as I possibly can about what the content is in these books. And if you trust my opinion, these are books that I do recommend. I'll let you know what they're about. I love romance, okay? I just do. And so most of these books do have romance in them. I'm going to start with contemporary romance. OG Kasie West. Do you guys even say OG? Is that a millennial thing? So Kasie West, her previously published books from like years ago, they were clean, they were wholesome, and they tackled difficult topics, but in a very kind and clear way, and that's why I recommend them. My top favorite Kasie West book is On the Fence. This is a little sports romance, but really you follow this girl who lost her mom when she was young, and she can't quite remember her mom, and she always wants to, but she has these nightmares, and so she's constantly playing sports and running and just trying to distract herself from that grief that's kind of just below the surface. She has brothers and a dad that are just trying to raise her, but so she's quite a tomboy. She doesn't really know who she is. She's struggling with her identity, and she ends up getting in trouble at the very beginning of the book, and that results in some things that she has to go through. And what I love is, first of all, the topic of grief, it's very delicately written about. And then she has this best friend, boy next door, that is like a best friend of the family, and he's always around, and they start having kind of these late night chats outside on either side of the fence. And it is so adorable, the things they talk about. And I do think that this is a very relatable book, especially to a girl who is struggling with her identity and doesn't exactly know what she wants and who she is. I think that this book will just kind of meet you where you're at. There is no language in this book. There's only kissing, and I don't think that there was any kind of like agenda being pushed in terms of you should want to have a boyfriend or you should want to be more girly or less girly. It was really like, what do you want to be? And I really liked that. So definitely recommend that one. And then By Your Side by Kasie West is another great one. I don't remember if there's any language in this one. That's the one thing. There may be, but none of her books have F words or anything like very intense like that. If there are swear words, they're very mild. So I'm comfortable recommending them. For this book, the main kind of theme or topic being covered is anxiety. So if you are a girl and you struggle with anxiety, highly recommend this book because this girl definitely struggles with panic attacks and anxiety. There are some of those like situations shown on page, so do be aware of that if that's a trigger. But when I was reading it, because I also struggle with anxiety, I felt very seen in this book, and I felt like, oh, this author gets it. Like I'm kind of the odd person out sometimes, and like my friends won't understand, and how do I even talk about why I'm scared of this thing that like probably doesn't make sense to anyone else. It was very good in the way that it showed this main character in different situations and how her anxiety showed itself. And then the kind of fun part is, maybe not so fun for the girl, but she ends up accidentally getting locked in a library overnight with this boy from school that is kind of known as this bad boy. And what I really liked is, yeah, he had this bad boy reputation, but that was all not true to who he is. He was actually a very gentle person, but he had a lot of walls up. And because they had to rely on each other overnight, nothing happens. They definitely just are talking and then they fall asleep and that's it. And I just really liked seeing their friendship grow from that and then into something more. It was so sweet seeing how he totally accepted her for who she was, and he encouraged her to be honest with her friends about what she's struggling with. And I just really loved that. So those two books by Kasie West, highly recommend. Anything published within that realm, I don't even remember, like probably the late early, I mean, early 2010s, I think, is what you could like look for from her books. Her more recent books definitely have more content pieces that I don't think are appropriate for Christian teenagers, but you could look into them because so far none of her books that I've read have had heavy language or spice. So that's nice, but there are other content things to be aware of. So there you go. But those two I definitely stand behind, and you should be able to find them in your library because yeah, they've been around for a long time. I haven't checked if they're on Kindle Unlimited, but you can definitely check all the places, but they're traditionally published, so you should be able to get them through a library. For some fantasy that I recommend, there's actually some Christian fantasy that you might be interested in. First up is Waterfall by Lisa T. Berggren. If you like fantasy, you should look into this author because she writes young adult fantasy with a lot of faith themes in them. This one is fun because these two sisters are helping their mom excavate a site for looking for artifacts and stuff like that. And so they're in Italy, I want to say, doing some excavation. And the girls come across this cave with this like kind of weird relic in it. When they both touch the relic, it transports them back in time by like hundreds of years into like medieval Italy. I think it's Italy. I kind of forget. It might be Rome, no, but no, I think it's Italy. And they come across this like kingdom, and this prince rescues them, and the kingdom is definitely in some war times, I guess you could say, and they are like caught up in this, and they have to figure out how to survive and how to get back, and they don't know how to communicate to their mom, and they also are falling in love with some people. One each. Okay, there's a prince, and then I actually forget the other guy, so that's fine. The prince definitely stood out to me because he was very princely. Okay, it was quite nice. I will say a little bit of insta love, but that's fine. Like, of course, if you see a very attractive princely dude that saves you, you're gonna automatically feel connected to them, right? So that's what happened for this girl. And you do, I think you alternate perspectives too. It's been a little while, don't quite remember, but still would stand behind it. There's no language there. I think there's kissing. There's definitely no language in this book, and the content is like just kissing. So it's totally fine. They definitely have strong feelings, but it's not written in a lustful way, which I appreciate. And it definitely ends on a cliffhanger. This is the start of a series, so check it out. I got it from my library, so you may be able to find it through the library, but you may have to like go searching for how to get these books. But Lisa T. Berggren, she is a good one to check out because they are Christians. They think about like, what is God doing? And they definitely have to like learn things from what they're going through. And I didn't continue the series myself, but the first book, I think, definitely set the stage for all this excitement going on, and I think you would like it, so check it out. Another author to check out if you like fantasy and Christian fantasy is Nadine Brandes. So I've read Fox and Wistress. She's not quite for me. I don't really like her plots, to be honest, like what her books are actually about, but some of you might like them. So Wistress is actually her most popular book. That's the one I liked the least. I just didn't like the characters, but whatever. What I did decently enjoy was Fox. So this is historical fantasy. So it's set in the times of history. I don't really remember exactly, but it's Guy Fawkes is a guy. Okay. Guy Fawkes, he's an actual historical figure from England. So it's set in England somewhere. Okay. And the gunpowder plot, if you want to Google that, doesn't really matter, but actually if you Google it, it'll give away the story, so actually don't Google it because that's what this book is set around. But there are these like rocks, I want to say, colors. It's color magic. There is magic in this book, but it's nothing like, it's just kind of I don't even know, there's no spell casting, it's nothing like that. Like, it's just like the earth has magic because of God, like God puts the magic in the earth. Does that work? And it definitely has a cute little like friendship to romance thing, but it's very mild in that sense, no language. And if you are interested, it's a standalone, and check it out. Maybe you'll like it better than I did, but certain fantasy, I think medieval fantasy in particular, like isn't my thing, which is too bad because there's a lot of them. But yeah, and actually my next recommendation is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. Kiera Cass, thank you, girl. She writes no spice romance for young adults, and we appreciate it, but she hasn't published in a while. So 1,000 Heartbeats, this is a giant standalone fantasy book. And I will say insta love, okay? Definitely insta love, but that's okay, right? Because again, he's a prince. Is he a prince? Actually, no, he is like the head soldier guy of the bad guys, and she's a princess, and they get like stuck together, and they fall in love by being stuck together, trying to run away from all the bad guys. And actually they're on opposite sides. And so there's 3 parts to the book. Part 1 is her trying to navigate being royalty and what is she going to do as a monarch, as the queen. She's not the queen yet, but people want to control her, all of that. I really liked her character. She's a strong character. Go you. Then she figures out that bad things are happening even in her kingdom. So she runs away and she meets up with this guy and he's on the bad side, but turns out that it's not the bad side and they have to work together, but they're stuck together for a little bit. So that's how feelings develop. And honestly, it's a long book, but there's no language, there's no spice, and thank you. That's all I have to say. So if you can handle insta-love, then give it a go. I think that it's okay for that. I feel like I'm getting more unhinged as this video goes on, but it's fun because I'm having fun. I really like talking about these books. So please tell me if you are enjoying this video so far. Give me a like. So what? I gave you like 5 recommendations. I'm telling you, it's tough out there. Okay, I have read a lot of young adult that has language in it, or has sex in it, or has a lot of like characters / themes that are just like not Christian friendly. So I will talk about those books in other videos because if you can overlook some content pieces, you'll have way more options, of course. But I wanted to just stick with the ones that are truly have no language, completely spice free, no themes that are like not Christian friendly. These are ones I stand behind. Christians, here you go. This is what I recommend at this very moment, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about some young adult books that I've read that have very explicit content. They're popular, and I just want to caution you. Hear me clearly. Teens, if you have read these books that I'm about to talk about, I am not shaming you. Please do not hear a shame message from me. I'm not judging you. I am saying here are some options that are better. I just shared better options. Check those out. But if you've already read these options, if you've already read these books that I'm about to talk about, don't worry, you're okay. Jesus sees you and loves you. He will not condemn you. He's not waiting to scold you for reading these books. And I am not here to scold you for reading these books. If you haven't read these books, I don't recommend checking them out. It's not worth it. But if you already have read them, it's okay. You can be washed clean by Jesus. You say, Jesus, forgive me. I don't want to read books like that anymore. He'll forgive you every time. Even if you prayed that and then next week you go and read one of these books, ask again, he'll forgive you again. That's how it works. It's so beautiful. He loves you so much. There is no condemnation with him. So just hear that message from me. But I will probably talk quite strongly about these books because of the content. It was so damaging when I was reading content like this. So I just want to caution you guys. And if you've already read it, you probably know what I mean, that the content made you feel uneasy when you were reading it. That's a sign that it's not healthy. So I just want to give that message. First up, a book that I saw was very popular a couple of years ago. It was a duology. I'll tell you. Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, I think is how you say it. Again, another Canadian that I'm like, come on, girl, I don't want to read this stuff. And yeah, this book had an open door scene where the characters, like, it's described how their bodies are interacting with each other in the bedroom. And in a way that I just felt like it was so inappropriate because of what the whole point of the book was, is they're both trying to uncover secrets about each other. And they're both not being honest with each other, but they're so physically attracted that they can't help themselves. And I think that's such an unhealthy message. And they end up in the bed together, and just the way that it's described, what they're thinking and feeling while it's happening, it was just so toxic to me. And I think it's completely unhealthy, and just, I very caution you, do not read these books. They sounded so fun, a fun, you know, fantasy duology, but don't do it. Don't do it. And if you've already read it, you probably know what I mean. It also follows witches with blood magic, and that also made me uncomfortable. I don't think that's something healthy to be reading with the blood magic piece, but for me, it was really that open door scene that I just can never say that that's a good idea to read. So definitely don't recommend that one. Other one is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. And this one has fairies in it, and I was really enjoying the story actually. It was interesting. It had similar vibes to The Selection. If you've read The Selection by Kiera, that would be another great recommendation. But this book is where there's a fairy queen and she has sons that are princes, and they're trying to find a princess queen match for the son. So they get all of these human girls to come, because these are all fairies. The royalty is fairies, and then there's humans. And all of these human families send their girls to try to get married to the Fae prince. And it was a fun story. I actually was into it, but then the characters sleep together and it's described what they're doing in the bed. It's not fade to black. It is described, and there's not like specific body parts mentioned, but just what positions the bodies are in is described. And again, I was very horrified reading it, and it just again solidified that I feel like authors that write about fairies in particular feel like they can get away with more smutty, spicy type scenes, because that's what fairies are known for in, I don't even know, in literature, I guess. I don't actually know the background of fairies, but there you go. So definitely don't recommend that one. I don't even know if it's, I mean, it's definitely a series or duology something, because it ends on a cliffhanger, this book, but I'm not continuing for sure. And that was too bad, because I liked the cover and it just like seemed like something I could like, but that open door scene was a no. Another fairy one, there's a lot of fairy ones I don't recommend. These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan and These Twisted Bonds. These Hollow Vows is the first book. There's no open door in this first book, but just a lot of like lustful language and feelings being described, because again, it's fairies and humans. And then the second book has open door scenes pretty early in too, so I just stopped it right then and there, and I'm like, this is not for me. So that was too bad. But again, these fairy books are just like not good. I feel like it goes without saying, Sarah J Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Maybe some of you have already read it, but yeah, that's okay. But I don't need to talk about her books. I wouldn't recommend any of her books. So I'll just say a blanket statement, no to Sarah J Maas. Again, which is too bad, because her books are everywhere. They're beautiful, they're hyped, all the things, but the content is so not healthy, especially for Christians. And kind of a random one-off is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I was so frustrated by this book because there was no spice, but there was language. And then they made references to things that I thought just were there for the sake of being kind of like a shock value. I don't know how to explain it, but basically this girl talks about like reading smutty romance. Like she's reading a book in class and the teacher tells her to put her book away, and her thought is, I just got busted for reading porn. And that is in the book. And that word was written, and I was like, wow. So we are calling it that, which is interesting. And I thought we all agreed that that's not a good thing to be consuming, but it seems to be okay if we're reading it in a fun fiction book. But yeah, it feels like double standards in that way. And I just really didn't like that it was so normalized putting it in there. So that was another book that I just wouldn't stand behind. And most of Lynn Painter's books I wouldn't recommend, which again, I'm so sorry. I actually did really like Better Than the Movies, but there was language in it, but there was no spice, which I appreciated. And even in the second one, nothing like the movies, also no spice. So that's the only duology by Lynn Painter that I'd recommend. All of her other books that I've tried have really serious language that I don't stand behind, or just themes and mentions of like sexual content that is just not healthy for us to be reading. So there you go. Those are the books that I would not recommend at this point. Hopefully I don't have many more to add to this list, but the more that I read through popular young adult books, I will have to add to this list and I'll do a follow-up video, but there you go, guys. So I want to end the video with a call to action for you guys. If you are a teen watching this, or just a young person, you don't have to be a teenager. If you're like 20, 21, 22, hello. If you like reading young adult, actually, if you're just anyone, I like reading young adult and I'm in my 30s, so shout out. But in particular with teenagers, I really want to know what you're actually reading. So if you're comfortable, write your favorite books in the comments. And I do want everyone watching this that isn't a teen, or anyone who is a parent, no judgment in the comments. I want the teens to feel free and safe to put in the comments what they actually are reading. If you actually read the Heartless series, if you actually read Sarah J Maas, I want to know. I want to know what's actually like in your circles, when you're reading with your friends, when you see stuff online, like what are you consuming and what books are in your face? I would love to know, because I would like to read through them if I haven't read them. And then if you have clean options, amazing. I want to read those too, so that I can recommend them to more people. But I would just love to hear, like, what do you read? And if you're a parent, then what books have you seen are good for your kids that you like to recommend to them? I'd love to hear that as well. I'm going to be doing many follow-up videos like this. So as I read more young adult, I will recommend them to you. And then I'm going to talk about young adult that maybe has some more language, maybe it has an F word or two. And I will talk about that, and then you can make the decision if it's a good fit for you. And I'll just talk about young adult, because that's also what I want to do on my channel. I talk a lot about romance and adult fiction and spice, and I do also read young adult though for my own fun, but then also because I really care about you guys as teens and I want to give you guys options. So I'd love to start that community through this video. So please comment, say hello. I'm so glad that you're here once again. And yeah, if you have any like books that you'd love to see a review on from me, or if you have video ideas or just like things that you want resources for, please tell me. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, I'm here for you guys. I really, really care, and Jesus loves you even more. I'm just closing out my video. I'll say thank you for watching, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye. First up, my true love is love. I love romance, so I am going to,